What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the data points, what's really been coming out associated to the company itself, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So Lucid is down slightly, 1.64%, kind of just piggybacking off of the broader market. Market is digesting quite a few different things, one of which is escalations coming from Ukraine, as well as building permits and housing starts, not necessarily the best data. And so futures, when this data did come out, started to dip even further. But I think today is just more of a consolidation day all in all, especially leading into NVIDIA's earnings, which is tomorrow. But beside the point, nothing specific to Lucid, so no SEC filings, no press releases, so no official stuff. A couple unofficial things I do want to bring up that's floating around, one of which is this right here. So Lucid Motors CEO board sued over alleged misleading production claims. So even though this isn't good, and probably won't really amount to all that much in my opinion, but I personally like this. I like the fact that this is sending a message to the board saying, hey, shareholders are not happy with how things are turning out, and we want some accountability. And because Lucid, like especially Peter on podcasts, he likes to throw things back and forth and whatever else. And sometimes some people might invest based on that information, such as even in the past, he has stated this, that they're going to be doing a $25,000 vehicle with licensing, and that they even did this right here. This interview says that they see a $25,000 vehicle in 4 years. That came out in 2021. So ultimately, I think just there needs to be more accountability. This is the alleged complaint. And so it looks like that Rawlinson was aware that the company could not meet these targets due to internal logistics issues and supply chain challenges, but failed to disclose these limitations to shareholders. And conveniently, for those of you that have been in Lucid for a while, that would sound very, very similar, because a lot of the PIPE investors that got in went to the SEC over those same kind of claims. The fact that there was internal messaging that Lucid had no intention of kind of hitting those original targets of like 49,000 all the way up to 150,000 by 2026. They had no intention of ever doing that. So yes, most likely this won't really amount to all that much in my opinion, but still I think this is sending a message to Lucid, and I think that's more important. So it's kind of a good bad kind of scenario in my opinion. And like I said, just you get conflicting messages. This came out on the 16th. So it says the EV market, that sucks. So you have Peter once again kind of stating that cheap EVs, that market does suck, as what he says here on another podcast. And so ultimately this is alluding to Lucid not really wanting to do a lower price vehicle. So that mid-size is probably going to be the lowest it does get. I think he stated between 48 and 50, if I remember correctly. So that's probably going to be the cheapest model that Lucid ever does make. Based on this, it now says that he's only going to be supporting a cheap EV through licensing tech, so they're not going to be manufacturing that. So like I said, just some conflicting information as what I've shown you already in this video. The fact that he stated that he wants to do a 25,000 vehicle, if someone would have invested based on that information and then see this, it's kind of conflicting, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think in general, this is an opportunity for the PIF, as I've said, to have more of a laddered approach. So they'd have Aston Martin for the high end, Lucid for kind of the middle to the high end, and then I think they have that joint venture with a Chinese company for the low end kind of stuff. But hopefully there's more licensing tech and stuff like that that does come out. The only other thing that has come out that I wanted to share with you was this right here. So a couple of new analyst ratings. So you have one that came out today, Adam Jonas, and it's kind of funny. I brought up, I think 2 days ago, wondering why we haven't seen ratings from these two individuals. So Adam Jonas did reiterate their $3 sell rating. Adam, who has a 52% success rating, and then you had Tom with RBC, who has a 43% success rating, did reiterate their $2 hold, as you can kind of see. So yeah, in general, I think that was to be expected. Those are the two very, very big bears in the market, or I guess against Lucid more specific. You have also Garrett, who didn't really do any rating, 54% success rating, did give a sell $2. And then you have Evercore with a 2. So yeah, I think it's just not necessarily the best. A lot of analysts clearly don't see much upside with Lucid. And as of today, while I'm on here, you kind of see the technicals are hit and miss. So yesterday looked very good, very optimistic. Near the second half of the day, it did kind of retrace a little bit, but as of right now, it's kind of flirting with that ALMA. So the ALMA is at $2.11, which basically is where Lucid is at right now. So it needs to close above that. So kind of just keep that in your back pocket. Not saying that it's going to jump to $3 tomorrow because of that, but at least that would be the start of a nice kind of potential trend higher. So we'll just have to, I guess, wait and see how that does all play out. But regarding shorts, they're currently returning 87,000 shares, which was absolutely crazy. So I did a video earlier on in the day, and yeah, like I think at that time shorts were increasing, I can't remember, like a couple million shares. By the end of the day, shorts increased 9.2 million shares yesterday. Absolute insanity. So some of them are returning, I guess maybe taking profits or whatever else, but 24.24% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 189.07 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average 2.82%. Utilization is 86.6%. So yeah, I think in reality, shorts might be just kind of returning some shares just to possibly maybe double down. But one thing to note though, you do have more than 10 million shares available to be shorted. So if shorts really wanted to double down, there's more than enough ammunition for them to do so. So kind of just stay tuned for that. As far as options, kind of low dollar value right now getting in, but 107,000 in calls, 34,000 in puts. 56% of all the options being done so far today are optimistic and bullish. Of those call options, there's still that consensus for it to be kind of between that $2.50 and $3 range. And then looking at puts, there's a consensus for it to be sub $2. So yeah, I think based on all of this, people aren't really anticipating all that much in moves. So if you do have a very volatile stock such as Lucid, very advantageous to do options, especially if you are going to be selling puts or selling calls. It's a good time to have volatile stocks, and that, yeah, it's kind of an easy premium, if that makes sense. So take time to research options. You guys do whatever floats your boat though. These are all the transactions that are occurring so far in the secondary market above $100,000. I'll just hit refresh. So it looks like there is just the one transaction, 944,000 happened first thing, and it was regrettably a sell for 208. So some entity really did want to sell out of Lucid pretty significantly. So let me know your thoughts on all of that in the comments below. Where do you see Lucid going in the short term? What's your viewpoint on this lawsuit? Again, not to say like, hey, that's a good thing, like amazing stuff. I think it's just more symbolic. That's a good message to the board. The fact that investors aren't satisfied with production, and hopefully, a lot of people are already starting to speculate on what their targets might be for 2025. Ideally, I think it has to be at the very bare minimum, like 15,000 at the very bare minimum. Ideally closer to the 25. But if you think about it, they have just AMP1, their capacity after phase 2, they can do 90,000. So I don't think saying 25,000 is too far-fetched, if you ask me, but again, what do I know? So let me know your thoughts on Lucid. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. One final thing I just wanted to share with you, I did launch a Patreon where I'm giving buy signals on stocks, crypto, options, and they have been absolutely bangers, killing it. So pop over there, take a look, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.